It's really crazy, but we are actually getting to the end of 2021. I can't believe it, but we need to accept it. And because most of the year passed, I just thought to look on my TBR and to understand which books I actually want to read the most in the rest of 2021 and which books are on my priority TBR. Hello everyone, my name is Jane, and today I'm going to share with you the books that I want to read the most in the rest of 2021. I actually have a good amount of series here, especially chunky books, which is interesting, and a lot of books that I'm pretty intimidated by, but I really want to read. I have also more shorter books, and yes, I just have a mix of genres. I just love to read everything from everything. I'm really excited to share everything, so let's just start. Now the first book, which is a series, and a series that I want to read for already so long. It's a pretty chunky series, and it's really intimidating series to get into, but I'm talking about Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. Like, no way that I'm getting to the end of 2021 without reading the series. This is an adult fantasy series. I really want to get into adult fantasy, and I just think that I'm really going to love it because I heard amazing things about Brandon Sanderson writing and about his world building. I just really want to get into this genre, and I feel like this is a really good place to start. This book keeps jumping from TBR to TBR, but I really want to finally read it and to get to it. Again, especially because I really think that I'm going to love it. And yes, we have something like 4 months, a little bit more to the end of the year. So let's hope that I will actually read it in the rest of the year. Now the next book is another really chunky book, and this is Battle Royale by Shun Takami. And this is, like you can see, a pretty big book. It has 600 pages, and the reason that I really want to read it is because I think that I'm really going to love it. For me, one of my most favorite books ever was The Hunger Games. It was my whole childhood, and basically The Hunger Games is the concept of Battle Royale with a lot of people, and they need to kill each other, and only one of them can get out alive. I feel it will be those kind of books that will just stay with me for a long time. I really have high hopes for this book. It's big, but I think that I love that it's so big because there will be more story and more plot. I'm just really excited to read it. And yes, hopefully I will get to it really soon, and I hope until the end of 2021 I already will finish reading it. The next book is another series, and this is Illumine by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is a trilogy, and this is basically a sci-fi story. Now the really cool thing is that everything is told from mixed media. All the pages here looks like this, like everything just really different and really with a mixed media. I really want to read it also physically and also in audio because I heard that the audiobook is incredible. This is another series that keeps jumping from TBR to TBR. I'm a little bit intimidated from getting to this sort of writing in mixed media, but I really think it will be fun to read, and once I will get into it, I think it will be also really easy and quick. This is another series that I think that I'm really going to love. And yes, the whole idea with the mixed media just really intrigues me. Again, I think that I'm going to love it. Also want to read most of the series until the end of 2021, like maybe even finish it. I really want to not binge it one after the other, but I do want to read it pretty quick. And yes, I'm just really excited to get to it. Now the next book is actually a series that I want to continue, and this is Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Young. This is the second book in the Girls of Paper and Fire series. I read the first book a few months before, and I liked it. I gave it 3.5 stars. It was pretty interesting. I especially loved the world building. I didn't fully connect to it. It was really interesting to read, but not my fave book that I read. But for that, I really want to keep reading the series and to give it a chance because I do feel like there is potential for me to love it. Now, the fourth book in the series, the final book, is going to be released, I think, in the end of 2021. I really want to get to the second book before the fourth book will be released. I just don't want to forget about the series because, again, I do believe that there is potential for me to love it. I also have high hopes for the second book. And yes, I guess it will decide if I will read the last book or not, but I'm really excited to read it. It was pretty fun to read it. Yes, not one of my faves, but I really want to give it a chance, and hopefully I will actually read it before the final book in the series will be released. Now the next two books are actually books that my friend Charlotte gifted me that I really want to read. And the first one is Fangs by Sarah Anderson. This is a graphic novel because of course I'm going to push a graphic novel into my TBR. I just love graphic novels so much. This edition is first of all really beautiful. You have black sprayed edges, which is so pretty. Illustration style is pretty cartoon-like, but I think that I'm really going to love it. It's basically a graphic novel about vampires, and I really want to read it in the spooky season because we are getting close to the spooky season, which is so exciting. This edition is just so beautiful, and I'm really excited to read it. And the second book is The Bromance Book Club by Lisa K. Adams. This is a series. I'm not sure if there is only 3 books because I think there is going to be more. Now Charlotte gifted me the first book and I'm really excited to read it. This is basically a romance series, but this story is told through the POV of the guys, and the guys basically open a romance book club so they can read romance books and be more romantic in their relationship, basically learn from the romance books, and it sounds a really fun series. I think that I'm really going to love it. It just sounds to me like those kind of contemporary romance series that I'm really going to love. And yes, I'm just really excited to read it. I can't wait to finally get to it. And yes, hopefully it will be really soon. And the next book is a thriller, and this is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And the sequel to this book is going to be released, I think, or in the end of 2021 or somewhere in 2022. But I really want to get to it before the sequel releases, so I will know if I want to get it or not. But basically, this story sounds really interesting because the main character of the story doesn't really have money, but suddenly one day some kind of millionaire passed away and he wants to give her all of his inheritance, but for her to get his money she needs to go to his house and to compete in some sort of games to win this money. And in this house there is the actual sons of the millionaire, the sons that didn't get the inheritance, and they just hate her because she's going to get the money of their family instead of them. And I just heard really good reviews about this book. It sounds to me like those kind of books that I'm going to really enjoy. I really love those books with games, like I said, Battle Royale, The Hunger Games. It's some sort of game, and I just really think that I'm going to love this concept. I really have high hopes for it. And yes, it's just really pretty. I really love the cover. This is also a book that my real-life friend gifted me, so I really want to get to it and to see if I like it or not. And yes, I'm just really excited to read it. And the next book is a new release. This is some kind of contemporary. It's categorized as YA, but I feel like it's more of a new adult contemporary. And this is Yolk by Mary H.K. Choi. Now, I really want to read this book. First of all, the edition is gorgeous. You have a hand here, which is so beautiful. Like, they're all in hands. Amazing. I actually started to read this book in audiobook. I read 20%, which is pretty a lot. And I really liked the story and how the story went. It felt to me really mature and really interesting. But unfortunately, I felt like the audiobook wasn't right for this kind of writing. And I felt like I'm going to enjoy this book so much more if I read it physically in text. Now, this basically following 2 sisters that not really getting along with each other. And then the main character of the story finds out that her sister has cancer. So this is just their story. And this is really unique writing. It just feels different. And I really want to get to it and not to forget it, because I feel that if I won't get to it soon, I will just forget it because I already started to read it. It's not a book that I don't know a lot about, so I don't have the interest of starting a new thing. It will be for me something that I'm already a little bit familiar with, but again, I do think that I'm really going to love it, especially because I already read 20% of the book. Yes, this is also a new release, so I feel like the best timing to read it is in the actual year it was released. And yes, just really pretty, really unique, and I have to read it before 2021 is over. So yes, this were my priority TBR for the rest of 2021. I have a lot more books that I want to read until the end of the year, but I really wanted to not make this TBR too long and too big. I just wanted to focus on the things that matter to me most right now. And like you saw, I have a lot of series here and a lot of chunky books, so I don't want to make myself a really huge TBR. I need something that I can actually complete if I'm a mood reader, so usually I'm not completing all of my TBR, but I really love to see a variety of books that are most important to me right now. It was just really fun to share all of those books, and I really hope to get to them actually in 2021. Until my next video, you can check more videos by me. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone!